We're on.
Preach. You so welcome. We made a song about it. All right. You want to hear it? Here it goes. Come on, y'all. Let's hear it.
Come on, y'all. Ready?
Ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Ready?
Welcome. 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 Yes, welcome. Yes. Welcome. 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 Yes, welcome. Please
Like and subscribe. Cup of Joe with Anna and Sheila. Hello.
Hey.
Hi, Sheila. How's
Hi,
it going?
Good.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe show with Anna and Sheila. Like, follow, share
Yep.
on Facebook. I was
Yep.
going to say Facebook. Facebook.
And
Give it
YouTube. We have a YouTube channel.
And we have
Twitter.
a Twitter.
We have the Twitter. How was your trip to Cancun?
Oh, you know, it was interesting, I guess, because we saw some quite famous people with some different haircuts.
We did.
And we did take a cruise.
Yeah, we just got back from our TED cruise.
Not
the TED Talk kind, but the TED cruise.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm glad we brought these little umbrellas back too, because
yes,
it's raining in Texas.
I just don't want to have to deal with not having power, and who cares about federal regulation for power?
Yeah, who cares?
It's not like it's a uterus or something.
I know, exactly.
Right.
So we digress. How was your week?
It was interesting, I guess. Just waiting to see. Thankful that we're here in Florida in some respects. Looking for the polar vortex to come down.
Oh, there we go.
And so not too much. Just watching the news and seeing what good things are supposed to come down the pipe.
Well, Satan got a new guest down there.
Satan got a new guest in hell or Hades?
Yeah, in hell and whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I didn't even want to mention that because it's not even worth mentioning in my book, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, he just got a new guest.
Yeah.
We're not sure if he's going to keep him because he's just that bad.
Don't know what's going to happen. Actually, I don't think Lucifer is really that bad. If you read about him, I mean, he was just
misunderstood.
He's misunderstood. He was speaking out his mind, and
the rest of us.
Just like the rest of us. So I think he's quite misunderstood. Also, I really like the show Lucifer on Netflix.
Yes.
Because he's like super hot, just saying.
Yeah, he is.
Whew. And it's, but yeah, I guess that was the big news.
Yeah, there was something else that happened this week too, and I can't remember. Wait, nothing. The president didn't tweet anything.
Well, I think he did tweet something about
that he was sending FEMA to Texas.
Oh yes, that's right. Which
it's on their own power grid.
Yes.
Yeah, because they didn't like federal regulations. Well,
yeah. We don't like regulations either sometimes.
But look what happens.
What happens?
You get screwed. You have no power, nothing. But shout out to Jose Andres. Is that how you say his last name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
For the World Central Food Kitchen?
Chef
Central
Fresh.
World.
Yes, World Central Chicken. Yes, chicken. Yes.
He's down there. He has gotten all of the restaurants in the state of Texas who have power to join his World Central Kitchen to feed people who have no power.
Well, going back to the whole sharing and trying to give back and things, I think as a country and from a cultural perspective, we have a big problem with toxic individualism.
Yes.
So I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, most of the religions don't say you should just be all for one and one for all.
No, help thy neighbor.
I really don't understand. I mean, that's pretty universal. All religions are kind of like that. I think that say to give back and help your neighbor and positive intent and
but I guess that's all only if you want to talk about that.
Well, I guess my point is that this is yet another example of what happens when individuals are thought over the greater good.
You sound like Mr. Spock.
I do sound like Mr. Spock.
The good of the many outweigh that of the few.
That's true. But I mean, how many issues are going to come about because of this toxic? It can go to the vaccines as well and the not wearing masks. I mean, it's just pervasive through our culture.
Yep.
And I've said this before on different shows that really the only thing that's going to change this is going to be some catastrophic event where people take a step back and say, wait a minute, maybe that's not the right idea.
Yep.
And I mean, it continues with the fact that our representatives represent something like, and don't quote me, it's around 30 to 40% of the American people, yet they're ruling everything.
Yep.
So, and this has taken a very long time to institute. So kudos to staying with it for Republicans and, you know, going for the long haul. It's paid off. But the Democrats need to get it together.
Oh, yeah.
Need to get it together.
Although Beto O'Rourke, bless his little heart, if you guys go on Beto O'Rourke's Facebook page, maybe if Aaron can put it up, he's actually doing phone banking to seniors in the state. He and AOC were doing phone banking the last 2 days to check in on seniors to make sure that they were okay and to tell them where there are local warming stations and food banks that have supplies for them. So bless his heart, he's doing more for the state of Texas as an unelected official than the elected official who left his poodle Snowflake in a cold house while he went away.
Oh, I didn't know he had a poodle.
Yeah, he had a white poodle. He named it Snowflake, and he left it at home.
He took his wife with him, though.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Okay.
The wife and the kids.
I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. But part of why we do this show is just to bring these issues to light. Yep. And so, you know, to kind of combat or be the antithesis or contrarian to this kind of thought process that some of our elected officials have in place, I think it's going to take a grassroots effort. It's going to take education, and it's going to take collaboration and unification. So,
and we have the perfect person to collaborate with today.
We have the complete opposite of Cruise of the Ted.
Yeah.
Here on our show today, this is someone that has given back a tremendous amount to our local community.
Yep. And we're
not only helped the community, I mean, helped in so many ways, not only give back food and supplies, but also invigorated and used our local teen talent. Which they don't do, you know, some kids don't do most kids don't do the old, you know, babysitting and lawn mowing. They've got role play games to play and things like that. But anyway, some of them are involved with giving back to the community, community service hours. And she also provides an outlet for these kids to see what it's like to live out of the fish hood.
Yep. And what I really like about Seeds of Hope is that nobody gets turned away. Literally, unless they run out of food, nobody gets turned away. And we've got the head honchoette of Seeds of Hope, one of them, Jen Patterson.
Here she is. Oh, and she dressed up for the occasion.
She looks like RPG.
I love the RPG color. That's totally
my favorite.
Oh, well, we're so excited because most of the time on the news we see, you know, people not wanting to help other people, or, oh, you're poor, or, oh, you're homeless. Oh, we don't need this. We don't need that. But you have kind of broken those boundaries and said, no, we really need to reach out and help our fellow man. And we applaud that. So can you tell us a little bit about what Seeds of Hope does? What's your mission?
Our mission is to provide food for those in need, but also meaningful community service hours to our teenagers with our Bright Futures program, or any teenager, you know, that wants to volunteer. We started with, when we first started Seeds of Hope, Lithia Eaton started Seeds of Hope. It's her baby. And there's just kind of a handful of us that, you know, jumped on board. I've been with Seeds of Hope about 10 years. And I love it. I've been to other organizations that I volunteered with, and it just didn't seem to fit. And like you guys said, we don't request anything from anyone on Thursday night distribution. If all we ask is that you need the food, but we don't make you verify that. We deal with migrant liaisons at the schools and other people to help get the word out, you know, to know that the food's available. And my rationale behind it was, and, you know, Jesus knocks on my door. I'm not going to say, hey, Jesus, prove to me you're hungry. I want to see your social security card. I want to see how much you make. I want nothing. And if, you know, we're not going to do it, that's not what we're about. If you come and you don't need the food and you take it, that's on you. You know, Our job is to get it to the people in need.
So where are you located? How can people get involved? What can our viewers provide in terms of support, both financially as well as donations?
I'm glad you asked. We're at 710 East Bloomingdale Avenue. We're not religious affiliated, but the Presbyterian Church on Bloomingdale lets us use the building that's right beside them. And we're really looking for volunteers right now. On Thursdays, it's 1 to 4 and 3 to 5. And that's to help bring in the food. We get additional food delivery on Thursday, the night that we hand out the food. And we need people to help get the food from the pallets they bring off the truck, bring them into the food bank, and put them into the boxes to be delivered. We started pre-COVID, we were doing like 100, 115. We're like, oh my gosh, we knocked this out of the park. And now we're over 500 a night. Last night we had 515 boxes of food handed out.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's both wonderful and sad.
And so in terms of actual donations, like donations in kind, as well as monetary donations, where can people look to see what's needed and how to provide either the funds or the goods?
All of the links are on our Seeds of Hope Facebook page.
Okay.
And the Seeds of Hope, we have a web page too, but everything's in the links on the Seeds of Hope page. There's Sign Up Geniuses on Thursdays, the times 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., 2 to 5 p.m., and 4 to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And we start handing out food. It used to be 4 to 7. We had to go back to about 3:15, depending if traffic's starting to get backed up. Because before 3 o'clock, we've got over 200 cars usually in line. So we start at 10 a.m. to get those boxes ready, and then put the meat in right before we start handing the boxes out.
And so what, a lot of people just kind of give out like their extra canned goods, or what is an extreme, not really an extreme, but some need that you may have that people don't think about other than just some cans that you have in your pantry?
One thing that is very good, if you have cans in your pantries with pop tops like soups, chilies, things like that. We've seen an increase in the homeless population coming up. They ride their bicycles. Things that are easy open but have protein, cereal, peanut butter, like granola bars, things like that are very good, to put with those as well. We have 3 different programs with Seeds of Hope. Thursday night is our big one that most people are familiar with. Mm-hmm. We have a backpack program where we provide kids that wouldn't have food for the weekend. They take it home every week, a bag that'll have 2 dinners and two breakfasts, and then snacks. And then I run the mobile food bank in Fish Hawk, which a lot of people may not be familiar with. I work directly with our Fish Hawk families. A lot of people say there's not a need in Fish Hawk. Unfortunately, there is. We have several members of our community that have cancer, that have illnesses, things that have caused them financially to lose their homes, to be going through a very difficult time financially. And what I do is just myself and my backup, Bernadette Boyle. She helps me. We keep everything confidential. No one knows, not even the other board members, who is part of the mobile program that I do. And if we have a need, it comes to me. But this, we do have things that we go through for verification, because basically it's the Jen Patterson show, and it's my time, my gas, my money on top of everything. So it's not just, oh, hey, I'd like you to bring me food this week because I don't feel like shopping. Sorry. Right. But if there's a need, then that's what I'm kind of there to help out, to get to our neighbors in need, because their kids volunteer at the food bank, their kids' friends volunteer. And it's just so they don't have to put themselves in a situation where others will know their business. So that's kind of another thing we do.
Well, what non-food products can people donate?
Definitely tampons. The government has decided those are luxury items, and any woman in her right mind knows that's not true. That was definitely, I'm sure, a man made that.
I can
decision.
think of some creative ways to protest that, but
Yeah.
I won't
Yeah.
discuss that.
But it's considered a luxury item, and their food stamps, if they're lucky enough to have benefits past food for shampoo and toiletries and things like that, tampons are excluded. So tampons, pads, especially for the homeless people, will make up, when they're asked for, we like to have stuff like that on hand so that we're able to, to help them out a little in that area.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys work with the Tampa Bay food bank at all?
Feeding America, is that the
Yes.
one? Yes. All of our food comes from Feeding America.
Okay.
I have a shopper that goes every Friday, and we get a Wednesday and a Thursday delivery. So 99% of our food comes from Feeding America.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, and we only pay, the most we pay is 18 cents a pound.
Wow.
And produce, yes. So that's why people are like, oh, should I give you a can of food or $1? $1 can get me 5 pounds of meat or 5 pounds of food versus one canned good. If you see, so, and it just depends on what they have, at the time. It's always kind of a crapshoot, but we have never run out of food yet.
Wow.
I say yet because we're growing and growing every week. We hope not to. But.
So it sounds like monetary donations would be
Yes.
a little bit more impactful.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see, if I don't get my latte today with my muffin for $7, that's a lot of pounds of food you can buy.
That's right.
It is 35 pounds of food.
So you are a 501c3, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So
Perfect.
other thing for our viewers out here, check with your company. A lot of companies offer matching donations. So if you donate to Seeds of Hope or Feeding America and provide evidence that you've done so, there's a lot of corporations that offer, especially now,
Yes.
offer matching donations. So check with your company, your spouse's company, to make sure that money's not left on the table. Just a little
tax tip.
Just a little tax tip. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Jen. We appreciate everything you do for the community. Once again, please, if you're interested, please check out her Facebook site.
And volunteers needed desperately on Thursday.
Volunteers needed, Seeds of Hope. If you have some extra bucks or just round up, apparently that can buy 5 pounds of feet. I'm never going to look at a latte or a muffin the same way again.
When I go today, I'm not going to buy my 35 pounds of food. I'm just going to send the $7 to you.
That we'll take it.
Right.
And we have an accountant. If you ever need to know, we have a wonderful accountant that documents everything. He dots our I's and crosses our T's for us. So
wonderful.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate your engagement with our community and our teenagers. I think it's good for everyone to be involved and understand and empathize as we seek unification.
Thank you.
Thanks. Safe trip.
Oh, we forgot to mention while she was in the bathroom, which I think is kind of funny.
Oh, she's not in her bathroom.
So that would have been a much better story if she said she's in the bathroom. Then we could have totally tied in the tampon issue.
I know, really. I think we can still see her. She can still hear us. You can just hop off, Jen, anytime.
Hop off. All right. So who do we have next week?
We have Obi the dog. No.
Well, where is he? He's over there. We have
Joe the cat.
We have Joe the cat. We have League of Women Voters next week.
We have the League of Women Voters. It's going to be a fun-filled show because there's 4 of them and 2 of us, so we will be outnumbered. But a couple things that we need to talk about is there's 3 bills that are in the State House right now that would restrict voting. And the big one is if you voted by mail, which a lot of us did this past election because that's what really worked. When you vote by mail the first time, it's good for 2 years. So basically it's good for one entire election cycle. So let's say in 2018, you vote by mail, you get it again in 2020. 2020, you have to agree to vote by mail, so you'll get it again in 22. Well, the bill now says it's only good for 1 calendar year. So if you voted in 2018, on 2019, your request for vote by mail would be deleted. So it's a way to do voter suppression because most of the people who voted by mail were
voter suppression? People don't do that, Sheila. That's craziness. This is America, the United States.
So anyway, that's one that we'll talk about with them hopefully, because they're against it, and I know a lot of other groups are against limiting vote by mail, especially in minority communities or rural communities. Sometimes that's the only way we can vote.
Now, Sheila, we're all equal. All equal.
I know.
That's what it says.
And then we've got I guess the federal government's working on getting a new postmaster because the postmaster wants to slow first class mail down to a week instead of 2 to 3 days.
Well, I had heard that they're doing that on, I think they're getting rid of the board is what they're going to do to get rid of the postmaster.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And for people in rural community who get medications by mail, that's
true.
Could be a death sentence to them.
So what I do, I'm sure you do the same thing, Sheila. It was when I go into my little Lithia post office right here that has like 5 people and has like her most horrendous ceiling you've ever seen.
Oh my God.
I just start cheering. I go, whoa, I love this post office. And they love it.
I do too. They know me because I go in there all the time, and I fill out the stupid. They give you a survey at the end of each thing that you do. So I fill out the survey, and I said, 1, why does the ceiling look like hell? 2, why are there no parking spaces here, especially at Christmas? 3, why is the building so small? Because we have the smallest post office with the most people. It's crazy.
Well, I just go in there for it. Next time I'm going to bring pom-poms because they love it.
I bring donuts.
Do you bring donuts?
I bring donuts, yeah.
They're the best. Anyway, I mean, there's so many things that would happen if something happened to our mail service, which we talked about this before.
Oh my God.
That's how they assess taxes. That's how the IRS is run. That's how state governments collect their money and use it as verification that they sent the assessment. Yep. So someone's not thinking this through.
You think?
Yeah, whatever.
But
all for one and one for all.
Yeah. So what the league does is they do nonpartisan voter registration. And one of the things we used to do in Virginia is we used to register people at the grocery store. Well, you can't do that in Florida. You can't do voter registration in front of a Publix. Publix will not allow you. They'll
Why
tell
would
you
we want to do that anyway, Sheila? I wouldn't go
private property.
Don't want to go in front of that store.
We might have to go to Winn-Dixie or Fresh Market and see if we can register voters.
The Winn-Dixie?
The Winn-Dixie.
Or the Pig? They don't have those down here in
Piggly
Florida.
Wigglies?
They don't have them in Florida. I think they might have them in Jacksonville, believe it or not.
I know they have them in North Carolina.
Well, that's not Florida.
I know.
Yeah.
So we've got some good guests lined up. League of Women
Voters. You know
Voters.
why they don't have them in North Carolina?
Why?
Because apparently there was this gentleman's meeting between like the founder of Ingalls and the founder of Publix. I don't know if this can be verified. Maybe one of our viewers can verify.
Melinda,
this.
get to work.
Yeah, but apparently they had this gentleman's meeting, and they said they kind of drew out like the boundaries. And Mr. Ingle, I don't even know that's his name, but I'm just making it up.
Mr. Piggly Wiggly.
No, that's a different chain, Sheila. So Ingalls said, okay, I'm going to take everything from here up, and then you can have everything from here down. So that's why you don't see Ingalls and Publix in the same state. That's just an urban legend. I don't know if that's true. We digress.
We do. We digress a lot.
But that's an interesting story, I think.
Yes. But there's other bills coming up. There's an awesome gun bill that would allow you to carry a concealed weapon in church. Now, what could possibly go wrong?
I don't like that sermon.
Yeah, I don't like that sermon. You're out of here.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff happening in Tallahassee. Anything that's really important, we want you guys to look up or work on. We'll let you know. But we got the League of Women Voters. We're really excited about them.
Yes, we are.
Yes, they're bipartisan.
And they're bipartisan, so we have to be on our best behavior.
We'll have to behave next week. So you don't have to tune in for the first couple minutes because we'll be really on our best behavior.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah, we can't just we can't vouch really for the dogs or the cats, but you know.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks everyone. To Ruth.